Hello guys, today we are going to be taking a look at a game for the PC called Nebula. It is available on Steam as of January 25th. It is a few days before the game releases. We have an advanced preview of the game here. It's from a developer called JuTek Pixel. And I will leave a link to this game in the description below. I just thought I'd give it a little bit of a demonstration, a little show off. I've already put a few hours into it. The game is very much in the genre of Vampire Survivors and is very addicting to play. And it's a PC game, so therefore I thought I would show it off on the Steam Deck because games like this really excel on the Steam Deck as a whole. It's a really fun, portable, just one more try kind of game that you're going to get sucked into. And so far, I've been really enjoying it. We start off with the main screen here. We have some basic options. You have sound where you can adjust your volume, your sound effects, your UI volume, and so forth. We have some minor graphic options such as full screen or windowed mode. Resolution, which is currently set to the resolution of the Steam Deck itself, which is what is it? Jesus, sometimes it's hard to read the screen. 1280 by 800. And let's see. One of the things that's interesting is early in the release of this preview copy, something we were hoping would be added was, at the time you had to hit back down here to go out. But now what you can do is you can hit the B button and it'll pop you back out. So the developers have been very responsive to some of the critiquing we've done in the lead up to the release of the game. So first of all, we got what's called a hanger. So if you're familiar with Vampire Survivors at all, you're going to find a lot of similarities here. However, the similarities are in between. You're going to see these little buffs here. Standard stuff like, it'll advance you some health, some speed. This will suck in the XP as you kill enemies, main weapon upgrades, so forth. As you play the game, you unlock more things, and you can go and advance some of the upgrades by collecting what's called these gears up here. And the more gears you collect, the more you can possibly use to upgrade your buffs and power-ups and so forth. Much like Vampire Survivors, the weapons in this game all operate on their own as you move around, except for your main weapon, which you can use for your left stick for. And I find that is very cool to have because it just gives you a little bit of interactivity as opposed to just, meandering around and moving. You can still get some kind of aiming. I keep hitting that touchpad. You can still get some aiming, which really sucks you into the game a little more than, say, Vampire Survivors, which I will hopefully not use as much as we go through this. But there are a lot of similarities. That is to say, if you enjoyed that game, you're probably going to enjoy this as well. This is set in space with a spaceship. You got a hangar buffs. We've been through some of the buffs you can get. So what we're going to do is just start the game up. And right off the bat, you get to select from a handful of different ships, a few that you still have to unlock as you power through the game. Each one gives you different attributes here. So you'll have, your maximum health. You'll have certain things such as this first ship, the gunner, will give you a little bit of an extra percentage in terms of finding more scrap, which is what you need to advance your weaponry and just overall upgrade your parts, therefore lengthening your survival in the game itself. So far, I've really enjoyed playing as this character here called Baby. The weapon that you start out with, this double barrel, I think is kind of cool because it gives you a little extra shot power. So here are what's going to be eventually 6 different maps that you can unlock. The first 2 are given to you right off the start. And the only way to unlock or clear one is to collect the maximum amount of scrap that is shown there, such as in this case, you get 1,000. And as you can see right now, I have 400 and something left over. But that 1,000 is something you have to collect in the midst of an entire run. That doesn't carry over. Any scrap you do carry throughout the end of the game, though, even when you die, you get to keep and, like I said, can advance. So here you are. See this? It's automatically firing. You can move around. Seen this kind of thing before. However, in this case, you can use this thumbstick. See, as I said, to aim. I love the music in this game. It's got a very 16-bit, almost Mega Drive sound to it, I think, in some slots. So as you go around and blow these guys up, these enemies, you're going to see these blue XP crystals drop here. And as you pick them up, there's going to be a yellow bar that advances at the bottom. When it fills up, this is where you get to choose an additional weapon. It's very loud. One thing I really like about the Steam Deck is the speakers are very impressive. So once again, as you advance through, you get this XP meter build up. You go up a level. It'll be a level 2. And these are some of the power-ups you get to choose from. You can re-roll them, but I suggest you don't, because then you're going to be losing some scrap in the process. So you got something here like you can add a new laser, which is a freezing laser, which will slow down the enemy as they advance, as you shoot on. This is a burning one. Health, gives yourself some extra health, which I don't need at the moment. I'm going to go with the burning laser for now. And I'm just going to move around, take out some of these guys. You can see there's the burning laser. It's firing a little bit. And we're just going to suck up this XP here as we drift around. And we've already advanced again. Some of these I still have to figure out what they do, which is kind of cool, even though I'm a few hours into it. Now, as you're flying around here, you're going to notice these asteroids that are going to be coming into view. And what would be neat is if you would be able to kind of hit them and direct them around a little bit, maybe as cover. It gives me a very much of Sinistar kind of feel. Now, as you're advancing along here, some of these bigger enemies are going to come out. Now, right here is a piece of scrap. I gotta get out of the way. The scrap is up in the top left of the screen there. So I'm gonna give myself some health here because I'm getting hurt. And every time you do that, you're obviously risking a power-up that you could have had. Let's give some extra damage. Now you'll see here I'm heading towards this purple arrow, and you'll have these little spots that you can sit in. And see that? It's filling up there. As long as I stay in it, it fills up. If I leave it, it's going to start going down again. So you have to have a little bit of a risk for reward kind of situation, because do you want to risk going in there and having these guys mob you and eventually pummel you to death? In there right now are, if I recall, those are explosions that are going to hit. Now, real quick, while I have this game frozen, you can see here the blue crystals are, I think, essentially 1 XP. But you'll see these other ones down here. They're like a yellow. I believe they give about maybe 5 to 10. There's different colors. I'm going to pop up my health here, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to bring these guys around here a little bit. And I want to show off that power in the middle there. Now, while you're in this sphere, they're not going to be able to hurt you outside of any bullets. They can't suicide into you or anything. But as you fill that up, it's going to pop. And whatever was in there is going to give you a little bit of a boost. So in this case, there were 2 explosions that help clear out the area that you're in. There's just a lot of little extra power-ups and buffs you can equip yourself with as you play. These bigger chunks here, like you hear that little ding, that's the scrap. Now, I don't have the price of the game as of yet. However, the developer JuTek Pixel has assured us it would be very competitive to other games in the genre at the moment, such as Vampire Survivors. And Vampire Survivors goes for about less than $5. So I think the chances are this is going to be your $4 or $5. And I can assure you, this game is, if you're any bit of a fan of this type of genre, you will be more than happy with it. It's a very fun, very addicting game. And like I said, especially on the Steam Deck here, it plays flawlessly. And it's a good pick up and go kind of game. That's perfect for the portable playing. So we're going to go over here. We have another one of these purple arrows we can kind of follow up on. So we can collect some of this XP here. You'll see at the bottom there, you have your red for your health. And you'll also have your yellow for the overall level status of advancing and upgrading your level. Now, I already have this weapon installed. So what it does is it'll piggyback on top of whatever you've had established so far. So in this case, what it's going to do is it's going to double up on the double barrel weapon that I have in here. It's going to give it a little extra oomph. Now inside this circle, we have a couple of explosions. We have health, and we have some scrap. Now, like I said, these guys aren't going to be able to get in, but they are able to shoot you. And once they crowd you, this is what happens. So, the game is kind enough. It gives you the option to just, go right back into it. But I want to show you, so far, this gives you a little layout of what you've done so far in this little match you played. You'll see here, it says up here, collected some scrap. So that scrap that you collected, you're going to be able to take back out and go back out to the main menu here. And then go into your hangar. And then from here, you'll be able to spend the scrap that you've accumulated. So that little bit of scrap I just accumulated is added on top of here, which is the previous amount of scrap that I had in my bank, so to speak. The only thing is, I don't think I have enough scrap to buy any of these more advanced powers right now. I can do this all weapons upgrade, for instance, so I'll show you that. So there you go. And if you look there underneath, you get a little block filled up. So that means you can advance this 3 more times in upgrades. So every time you play, essentially, depending on the amount of scrap you have, you're going to be able to further yourself into the game, and therefore maintain and increase your survivability. So this time, let's start with Gunner. And I'm going to start with this map here. Now, as you can see, this guy, compared to Baby, shoots 1 shot at a time. He also seems a little bigger. A little slower, maybe. And they also have these different stats. Like I said, what's cool is, it gives you this ability to kind of fire in your surrounding areas. Whoops. You know what? I didn't want to do that. I think I thought it was less health than it was for some reason. I don't know why. Now, occasionally you'll find these some of these power-ups will show up just in the map itself, and you can get them for a brief amount of time. You'll see a little timer tick down across the top of the screen when you have one activated. Otherwise, your weapons are going to be displayed down here, and your buffs that you currently have are going to be displayed down here. So I'm going to go in and pick space mines here now. And we're just going to cruise around this rest of this map. So anyway, this is about the pretty much what I wanted to show everybody. So I personally think this is a really fun little game, especially considering the cost. If you're anything close to being a fan of Vampire Survivors and that genre that's kind of brought itself upon us recently and taken over the scene, I heartily recommend this game. This is more of a preview plus a little bit of a review, but especially if you have a Steam Deck, I can't imagine. These to me are the best types of games. Now this won't slow the enemy down. These are the best types of games that you would really want to play on this thing. And let me pause it a second. Let's see. That's another thing that's driving me crazy. I keep hitting the start button to pause it. So if I go down here in the Steam Deck, it's going to give me a little quick idea of something going on in the background there, because it's weird. There's still all these little sound effects that makes it sound like it's still playing. So on the Steam Deck, if you hit this button, you'll get your quick overlay up here. And we're going down to battery. And as you can see, this wasn't a full charge when we started. I think I was at 90, what was I, 94% or something of that nature? 93. Depending on what game you're playing, this will change. But there's an easy 5 hours worth of game just playing this right here. And that fluctuates. So let me turn this on for people who have the Steam Deck and get an idea of what's going on over there. It really just kind of sips your battery. It doesn't really, obviously this isn't a real high fidelity game. Elden Ring, this is not. So, but yeah, anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Once again, I am going to leave a link down below in the description. And if anybody wants to give it a look at, I highly recommend it. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.